So students, till now we have seen the various principles given to us by F.W. Taylor. Now let's see the techniques given by F.W. Taylor. And actually these techniques are the implementation of those principles only. Okay, so let's see what are these techniques. These techniques are functional foremanship, standardization and simplification of work, then work study, and under work study, method study, motion study, time study and fatigue study comes. And last is differential piecewise system. And student, one more thing I would like to tell you over here is that in many books you can find like work study is equal to method, motion, time and fatigue study, and in many books you may find total 7 techniques. Like first is functional foremanship, then standardization and simplification of work, then method study, motion study, time study, fatigue study, 6, and then 7th is differential piecewise system. So you can write down either the way. If you want, you can write down these study method, motion, time individually, or if you want, you can group them and you can write down you can write under work study. Though we are going to study all these method, motion, time and fatigue study individually also, and we have to explain them also, but it's up to you. The way you want, you can write down. So let's see the techniques. The first technique, that is function foremanship. According to this foremanship, the workers have to take orders from 8 foremen. And he emphasized that the work has to be divided, mean planning work should be totally different, as planning is different from production, so the department should also be different. Means the one who is doing planning work, they should focus on that work only, and production people, they should focus on production work only. And so yes, the foremen who come under planning in charge, they are instruction card clerk, route clerk, time and cost clerk and disciplinarian, and the production in charge, speed boss, gang boss, repair boss and inspector. So let's see the working of all these. The instruction card clerk, the work of this foreman. Instruction card clerk, what he actually used to do, he used to draft the instructions to workers. Then comes your route clerk, they specify the route of production. Then comes your time and cost clerk to prepare the time and cost sheet. Okay, then comes your disciplinarian to ensure the discipline. Obviously, discipline is very necessary in every organization. Then comes your production in charge, and under production in charge, speed boss. His work is to ensure timely completion of the job. Then gang boss, keep machines and tools ready for operations by worker. Means if the machines and tools are ready, so it won't take much time for the worker, and without wasting time the work may start. Then repair boss, to see that every machine is in perfect working condition. Okay, and then last is inspector, to check the quality of the product. So this is your functional foremanship of Taylor, and the technique was standardization and simplification of work. So what does standardization means? It refers to the process of setting standards for every business activity. Means here Taylor, he focused on the standardization of say raw material and method, machine, means to establish a standard for excellence and quality in materials, in the output. Whatever the output is coming, it should be of quality. Then simplification means he aims at is eliminating superfluous varieties, sizes of product. Means here he implies that to reduce the inventories, which will result in saving the cost of labor, tools, etc. Means when the work will be simplified, like suppose any juice manufacturing company is there, and suppose the juice manufacturing company, they are manufacturing say around 100 varieties of juices. So if they are going to simplify their work, means if they are going to reduce it till say 10 or 20 or 30 varieties of juice, definitely they are going to focus on those only. So that is what Taylor say, that to simplify the work. Now let's see the another technique, and the another technique is work study. So let's see the another technique of work study, and this technique, it includes the following techniques, as I have already told you, and what are the names of those techniques. Again, to learn those techniques, I have made the shortcut, and the shortcut is FMT. FMT. Okay, and M is used twice, so you can write 2 over here. So what is F? F is fatigue study. See, again my pen is over. S is fatigue study. Then motion study. Then comes your method study, and then is time study. Means there is no sequence, like you need not to write the first fatigue has to be written, then only motion. No, any sequence you can use, whatever you may like. So let's see what fatigue study says according to the definition. So let's see the next technique, that is fatigue study. Fatigue means tiredness, means after doing a particular piece of work, what happens? We generally become very tired. So here Taylor focused that if in between job, if suppose a person is being given a rest interval, so maybe possible that the person will start doing the work with same pace of energy. It may happen. So let's see what this fatigue study means. The objective is to determine the amount and frequency of rest intervals in completing a job. So here he focuses on giving rest intervals in between any job. So that the workers may regain their energy, and if a person is suppose working continuously, then what will happen? Person will become very tired and will not be able to do the work with same energy. Means slowly his energy will be down. So but in between if any rest interval has been given, so what will happen? Again the energy will be regained and the person will do the work with the same capacity. So next technique is motion study. Motion means what? Movement. So here one should read the unnecessary motion or the unnecessary movement of the worker while doing the work, and to cut off all those unnecessary movement, so that whatever time will be saved by cutting down those unnecessary movement, it will be utilized in doing some productive work, definitely. So let's see what definition says. According to this, the objective is to identify wasteful and unnecessary motions and eliminate them to determine the best way of doing a particular job. Suppose I am giving one example. Suppose a worker is there and he has to do some machine work. He has to stand and do the machine work, and for doing that machine work, every time to pick up the tool he has to bend down and he has to stand up, and doing this bending down and coming up, it may take some time. Instead of that, if suppose a table of same height is kept near him, so what will happen? He'll just pick up the tool, whatever tool is required to him, and he will use it. So that unnecessary movement of bending down and coming up, it will be cut down, and it can be utilized in doing some productive work. Next technique is method study. So what is the objective of method study? The objective is to find out one best way of doing any particular work, and what will be the output of that? It will help in minimizing the production cost and maximizing the satisfaction of your customer. So let's see the method study. Objective is to find out the best way of doing the job so as to minimize the cost of production and maximize the quality and satisfaction of the customer. Time study. So let's see the objective. The objective of time study is to determine standard time taken by a worker of reasonable skill and ability to perform a well-defined job. Again, let me take one example to explain you this time study. So suppose on the basis of several observations, it is determined that standard time taken by a worker to make 10 pencil is 1 hour. Okay, means observation has been done and it is the output come that a worker can make 10 pencil in 1 hour. And suppose there are 8 working hour in a day, and if we deduct even 1 hour out of that for rest interval and for the lunch, so 7 hour will be left. So in a day, if 7 working hour is there and 10 pencil per hour, so a worker will be able to make 70 pencil per day. Okay, so on this basis, means this is the standard task a worker has to perform, and on that basis only the wages can be decided accordingly. This is the last technique of F.W. Taylor, and the technique is differential piece wage system. Means here the Taylor differentiate between efficient and inefficient worker, and he reward the efficient worker. So in this wage system, 2 piece of wage rates were there. Means one was for those who produce more than the standard output, and the another was for those who produce less than the standard output. And what was the formula he made for that was wages is equals to actual output into wage rate. Means suppose he set one standard output of say 40 units. So the worker who is going to produce more than 40 units will get say 10 rupees per unit, and the one who is going to manufacture less than 40 units will be getting 9.50. So on this basis he tried to differentiate between the efficient worker and the inefficient worker. So student, this is all for lesson 2, principles of management, and hope you all must like this video. So thank you.